One of the most promising anti-aging drugs in the world is not exotic. It's not a peptide from a lab, and it isn't rare or expensive. It's a boring diabetes pill that millions of people already take. It costs pennies, and it's been around for decades, and some serious scientists think it might slow down aging itself. Not a rare disease. Aging itself. So, what is going on here? Why would anyone take an ordinary diabetes drug and try to turn it into a longevity drug? And does that idea actually hold up? Or is it just wishful thinking? Start with where the drug even comes from. Metformin's ancestor is a plant, a flowering weed called goat's rue, or French lilac. In medieval Europe, people used it as a folk remedy for the symptoms we now link to diabetes. Centuries later, chemists worked out what in the plant was doing the work and refined it. That led to metformin, brought into diabetes care in 1950s France. A French doctor named Jean Stern championed it and gave it a blunt nickname, glucophage, which roughly means glucose eater. What it mainly does is simple. It tells your liver to stop dumping so much sugar into your blood, and it nudges an ancient energy sensor inside your cells called AMPK. AMPK is the gauge that flips on when your energy runs low. When it switches on, cells shift toward conserving and cleaning up, instead of growing and storing. Hold that idea, because it matters later. Now, here is the clue that started the whole aging story. In 2014, researchers looked at the health records of nearly 200,000 people. They compared diabetics taking metformin against people without diabetes at all, and they found something that stopped everyone cold. The diabetics on metformin appeared to outlive the healthy, non-diabetic group. Think about how strange that is. People with a serious disease seeming to live longer than people without it, while on one cheap drug. That single result lit a fire under aging research. But now the honest part, because this is where it gets slippery. That eye-popping finding did not fully survive a closer look. When scientists followed the same kind of data out over a longer period, the picture changed. In that longer analysis, the metformin patients did not beat the healthy controls. They actually had shorter survival. So the famous headline, "Diabetics outliving healthy people," is not a settled fact. It's a provocative clue that partly fell apart. Still, the mechanism kept researchers interested. Remember AMPK, that low energy switch. Metformin gently flips it, which faintly imitates the state your body enters when you eat less. And eating less is one of the oldest, most reliable ways to extend life in animals. So the hope was that a common pill might whisper the same message: maintain, repair, don't just grow. That's a genuinely reasonable idea, and it's why serious scientists took it seriously. Which brings us to the boldest experiment of all. A researcher named Nir Barzilai proposed a trial unlike any before it. Not a trial for one disease, but a trial aimed at aging itself. The idea is to give metformin to thousands of older adults and watch a whole cluster of age-related problems at once. Heart disease, cancer, dementia, death. It's called TAME. And it's a landmark for a strange reason. Regulators don't even officially recognize aging as a condition you're allowed to treat. This trial is partly an attempt to prove that aging is a target at all, but it has been stuck for years, mostly struggling to get funded. So the definitive answer it promises is still, frustratingly, ahead of us, not behind us. And there's one more catch that really matters. Exercise is the single most proven thing you can do for healthy aging, but some studies suggest metformin may blunt the benefits of it. In older adults who trained, metformin dampened the gains in their muscles and in their cellular power plants. So the longevity pill might quietly cancel part of the best longevity habit we have, which is exactly the kind of trade-off a headline never mentions. Metformin is not an approved anti-aging drug. This is a science story, not medical advice. And there's no dose, no source, no how-to here. So step back. We have a cheap, familiar drug, an intriguing clue that partly collapsed, an elegant mechanism, and a trial we haven't finished. That's not a miracle. It's a real, unfinished piece of science. But the reason it grips people is the deeper idea underneath it, that a drug faking the effects of scarcity might buy you time. That's the thread worth pulling. Because if eating less and drugs that mimic it keep pointing the same direction, then aging might be less about wearing out and more about a switch, deciding every day whether your body grows or repairs. Metformin is just one hand reaching for that switch. Rapamycin reaches for it from another direction. So does a molecule your body loses as you age. And so does the simple act of eating a little less. 4 different roads, arriving at the same hidden dial, the one that decides how fast you get old. What the switch actually is the far bigger question. Nobody has fully turned it on purpose in a person and proven it yet, but the map is finally coming into focus. A pill from a weed, a drug from island dirt, a molecule from your own cells. All of them circling the same quiet mechanism. That's the real story of aging. Not one magic cure, but one shared switch. And that's the story we'll keep opening up, one familiar molecule at a time. Thanks for watching Brainstorm, Bob. If this made you think, hit subscribe for more curiosity, ideas, and real answers. See you in the next one.